Mark, good to see you again. Quick turnover of games, of course. I mean, what can you actually do in this in-between period between games?
Well, first couple of days, obviously, after a game, it's more about just getting everybody settled down and in terms of post-match stuff, strategies, just to get them physically right again, and I'm ready to go again. So it's pretty much been the focus, certainly today. Given the weather, it wasn't appropriate to go out really, so we just had more time to do the post-match stuff that we always do, but you can put a little bit more time into it when obviously the option to go out isn't there.
How are you bodies-wise after Tuesday?
Yeah, pretty good. Don't think we've got any fallers from the other night, so we're pretty much as we were.
Are you welcoming anyone back into the fray?
No, not as yet. No, Manny's still a little bit sore, so hopefully we'll get him involved next week. At Derbyshire, Jerry Nevers should join in the group first thing next week, so hopefully they'll be available on the weekend, next weekend obviously. And Verdane, his knee should have settled down, and he should be an option as well. So we'll get a few back next week, but not for this week.
How mindful are you going to have to be about workload going into Saturday's game, given the fixtures that you've had of late?
Well, I think it's more an issue maybe Saturday, Tuesday, but Tuesday, Saturday we've got a little bit extra time, so got a little bit of travelling in that as well. So probably our main concern is decision on training. Obviously, the thinking is that there's probably a little bit more weather to come, so we might not be able to train here. So we might look at our options, maybe nearer to Newport, and see if we can get some good quality pitches down there, and maybe just travel down, get away from the weather, and train when we get down there.
Spreading the workload for your side, how vital is it that you've got the option of using 5 substitutes if you so wish?
It does help. Clearly we've reaped the benefit of that. When I felt that I needed to freshen things up, I'll try and recognise that and do it as early as I can. I think we did it to decent effect, obviously, at the weekend, Tuesday as well. We had to change in the energy in the team, so it's just about recognising when you need just to add that extra energy you get from the bench. So we've got good options to come on who affect the game, because they're engaged and they understand what's required when they go on, and I'm quite comfortable. Like I said, we've got a little bit of extra time. Saturday, Tuesday sometimes is a concern, but Tuesday I had a number of guys that had only played 60 minutes on the Saturday, so I knew they could go again. So defensively, clearly you just want that continuity, so they have to go again obviously, but I think the guys there are quite resolute anyway. They just can bang out games, so I've got no concern in that area of the pitch. Likes a cookie, he's rock solid as well, so he can go again. So not too many areas that I really need to freshen up or have a real concern about, but I can either, if I feel it's necessary, before games, but certainly during games I can do.
So I suppose that momentum that you feel helps carry players through that.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, and the adrenaline of the games as well. So you can get to the end of games, and sometimes lads don't recognise how much they've done, or maybe if they compromised. So it's only until you get to the end of the game, and when the adrenaline level drops a bit, that you can find some guys are toiling a bit. But we are not that touch wood, so we're pleased.
On the point of substitutes, and I think it was something you mentioned earlier in the season about having maybe a larger matchday squad. Was it the League Cup that it's a bigger squad, and it might be beneficial to have that in a league setting? Now you've had a good run of games with the 5 subs. Would it be more beneficial maybe to have a larger squad?
Well, I think it gives you more options. Clearly, I don't think you need any more subs. But if you had a bigger bench, then obviously you could pretty much cover every eventuality. But maybe teams at League 2 level, maybe not carrying as much quality as maybe some ourselves and other teams would vote against that maybe. But I can see the benefit clearly, but it just gives you more options and gives you an opportunity, obviously, to keep involving guys that aren't in the squad or close, but not quite in the matchday squad. So there's advantages to it, but I can see why some clubs would vote against it.
What about your opponents on Saturday then, Newport? What do you make of them going into the game?
Yeah, another difficult opponent. Good team. We'll ask questions of us, we know that. So we're going to have to play really well. But yeah, I mean, it's a good surface down there. In recent seasons it hasn't been the best pitch, but they've addressed that. So I think when we go to clubs where the surface is good, we have a confidence in the way we play, so that always helps. So as long as we face the challenge of what they'll throw at us, we've got good threats. A long throw again that we had to deal with on Tuesday, so we're well versed in defending those balls into the box. So yeah, it'd probably be more of the same. We just got to make sure we play well. Was
it a pleasing aspect in Tuesday's performance to see the defensive line deal with?
Yeah, I thought defensively we looked rock solid. I mean, I thought Walsall played well on the night. Once again, I think they said it was one of their better performances. We're getting used to that, so I thought they did well. Of course, there's a few problems, but not really anything of note in terms of testing Harry to any great degree. So that shows that the defensive block in front of Harry is very good at the moment. And like I said, even if it gets breached, Harry's still there to be beaten. So I like the strength that we're showing. Obviously, we're banging out clean sheets at the moment as well. So that's a really good sign for us.
Yeah. How much of a, I suppose, priority or importance do you put on the defensive work of your side, and particularly the clean sheet count that's rising at the moment?
Well, we don't go out with that intention. That's our sole aim. Clearly, we go into every game we play with the intention of winning. But when you have a platform and you have a base, then that allows you more confidence ahead of the ball, because you know maybe you can take a little bit more chance at the top end of the pitch, because even if you get broken and there's transitions, you've got that confidence of that defensive platform that we've got. So I think that gives us more confidence higher up the pitch. So that's a pleasing part of our play at the moment.
Best luck Saturday.
Thanks a lot, man.
Going back to Wales this weekend, I was looking, I think your managerial record, I think you've been there 6 times as a club manager previously. When you go back to Wales...
Take your word for that. No idea if that's true or not.
Does it feel any different? Do you, the reaction you get from people, sort of local fans and what have you?
No, I'm just viewed as an opposition manager, so I get the same amount or level of stick coming my way. So I don't see any great change in it. It's one-to-one situations maybe it's a little bit friendly, but en masse it doesn't really change. So no, I'm not expecting that they'll have the bunt,
Have you been competitive to Newport before? By the ground?
No, you'd have to check. From memory, I don't recall. Not in a competitive match. Played Wales under 21 international years gone by on their old pitch, Somerton Park, which tells you how long ago it was. So no, it's not been a ground I've really played on too often. But I know the people down there. There's some good friends I used to be involved with Newport at ownership level, so I know a lot of people down there.
It's a sort of proud old club, and because it had to come back from...
Yeah, I know. They did a fantastic job again, back out the National League and back into the league itself. So, yeah, there's some good people down
there. And as you say, it's pretty much more of the same from Tuesday in terms of what you're going to face. But, you talk about how well the team, I think Matty Platt was sort of saying they stand up to these sort of tests.
Yeah, it's not easy, and you're only one irregular bounce or ricochet away from conceding. That's the nature of a lot of the football at this level. So you've got to be resolute. You've got to have a concentration level that sometimes makes you fear the worst, and you have to ask the old question, what if this happens, what if that happens, what do we do about it? And so that's just good self-talk that defenders have to have anyway. And I think at this level it's more important that you have to understand that mistakes can be made, and balls, speculative balls into your box sometimes can hurt you. So you just got to, at times, fear the consequences and deal with it.
But presumably, the way the defence has been playing of late, the team as a whole defensively, I mean, there's a confidence growing there.
Yeah, and there's confidence individually and collectively. That's the key part of it. And obviously, Stubbsy has come in and added to that. Rom's been part, obviously, of a good part of the season. Played really well, had a really good season. And when he comes on in the latter parts, as he has done of late, he's helped that solidity, because he knows exactly, because he's had good numbers of games, he knows exactly what's required. So that defensive base that we got is really sound at the moment.
I was going to say, Rom, he can't sort of really knock on your door at the moment, can he? Because
no, it's difficult. Yeah, he was unfortunate to go out with the team in the first place, but at the moment it's working for us. We look really solid. I'm loath to just break up that, just because maybe you look in some games, some guys look like they're tiring, when then all of a sudden the next moment they pick themselves up and they look really strong. So I think it's a case of just continuity and selection and see where that takes us.
And obviously, looking at the fixture list this weekend, there's several teams around you sort of playing each other's couple of quite significant games.
I think we do look at that. So you don't try and get too far ahead, but it's interesting. It makes for good conversations when you look at who's got who coming up in relation to who we've got, and you can play a nice little game of guess the score and guess the results. Doesn't always pan out how you think.
How many teams do you think are in the picture now? I mean, are you sort of realistically looking at in terms of?
I wouldn't put a figure on it, because it only takes a run of 4 or 5 games and all of a sudden somebody shoots back into the frame. So I think we're mindful of other people's results, clearly, because you have to be, but it's more a consequence, more from our own point of view. It's more about what we have the ability to affect and what we can do. So let's just try and do what we can do.
It's nice to be able to be looking at the teams in second and third and how they're getting on, perhaps. And more.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, after games, as soon as the game is finished, almost without fail, we look at the results of other teams in and around us. I think that's a natural reaction. I think everybody would do that. So yeah, we're clearly looking at other fixtures and other results, because that impacts on what we're trying to do.
As you say, everyone's having peaks and troughs, aren't they? I mean, Orient apart, probably the only ones who've really gone through without a real
I mean, ourselves, we had a period where we had a couple of back-to-back defeats, which hurt us at the time, but we've bounced back from that, and we're on a good run now. What is it? 1 defeat in about 9 or 10 games, I think. So we're in good shape. Not too many other teams current form are above us, maybe 1 or 2. I think maybe Sutton are doing okay. So from our point of view, we're happy where we are at this time of the season. We've just got to keep this run going. All done. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
No problem.